Over $72 million in title grants going towards several K-12 programs statewide remain frozen by the federal government. Tonight, Green Bay Superintendent expressing her concern about the freeze's potential impact on students, teachers, and city taxpayers. New at 10, Drew Best asked about the expectations heading into the new school year. He's live in the newsroom. Drew.
Jason, Green Bay Area Public Schools awaits the release of roughly $3.4 million in title grants, less than 2 months away from the first day of school. For District Superintendent Vicki Beyer, the extension of this freeze beyond the start of this school year's budget cycle is concerning.
We are at the point now where any further cuts will definitely have an impact directly on our students. So what will this look like a year from now if these kind of cuts continue? Hopefully we don't have to find out.
The frozen title funds go towards staffing for bilingual teachers, school counselors, and social workers, as well as programs like after-school care and language instruction for non-English speaking students.
They have to learn somewhere, and that's part of our responsibility as a public school district, is to provide them those opportunities. Those opportunities are funded through these title funds.
If the freeze carries into the school year, Beyer says the district will continue to run the after-school care program, but she believes they might need additional help.
What that exactly would look like, I'm not sure right now, but if the funds aren't there to support our after-school programming, the community would have to help carry the burden.
I reached out to 8th District Congressman Tony Weed for comment on the federal freezes. He shared this statement, which reads, quote, "The Trump administration has yet to finalize a budget. It is my goal in Congress to return power back to the states and our local communities. Teachers in the classroom are far more qualified than bureaucrats sitting behind desks in Washington, D.C., end quote. In the coming days, Beyer plans to continue crunching the numbers from the recently approved state budget to determine the district's best path forward. If this freeze continues, she plans to call upon state legislators to help pick up the additional costs. Jason?
Drew, thanks to you.